Good evening. My name is Monsignor Mark Ulrich, and I am the pastor of Sacred Heart Catholic Church, just a few blocks away from here in the heart of Florissant. And I'm delighted to come and to say a few words as the great Florissant Police Department is being reaccredited. It's an opportunity for me to say a few words about the job I think that they're doing. Being here just for the last 5 years has been a wonderful treat to see the life and vitality of our North County community. And a big part of that, I believe, is the safety and protection provided by our Florissant Police Department. The chief, Chief Lowry, Tim Lowry, is actually a parishioner at Sacred Heart Church. I know him well. And he has given me a tour of the department as well as my new associate when he came in. But what I learned right away was that the police department works very closely with the Catholic Church and many other churches in North County in trying to provide a community and an environment where our people thrive and grow. Or as I like to say, a lot of our young people getting married want to come back. They want to stay here after they're married. It's a great situation in that way. And all I can say is from my perspective and from the old Florissant area that our church is in, things have been going very, very well. The police department basically wants to serve us. They want to make decisions, and they want to provide an environment where people can feel secure and safe and be supportive. Besides just police work directly, there are many times when the chief or one of his people, one of his officers, will come by, be present at events at Sacred Heart Church, things that are happening in support of the church or our parish. He's always very, very supportive, and we're grateful for that. So if there's any time when the police need a priest, we expect to be there quick and to serve them, and we've been called a number of times to do that, and vice versa. The police have been very willing to work and cooperate with us. So we're grateful for that. It's a great opportunity to make a statement today for that. For the police department and all the good that they're doing. Thank you very much.
Good evening. My name is Dr. Rance Thomas. I'm president of North County Church of Restoration and Justice, which consists of 23 churches in North County, working to promote racial understanding and social justice. I'm also professor emeritus of criminal justice and sociology. I taught criminal justice courses, including police community relations, at Lewis Clark Community College for 30 years. Therefore, I strongly urge the reaccreditation of the Florissant Police Department. In 2002, I was a consultant to the department on racial profiling. Ever since then, the department has been working with us, my organization, promoting understanding between the races. We've worked with 3 different police chiefs over the years, and is currently working with the chief now with his officers and to improve relations with the police and the community. In fact, Chief Lowry has agreed to participate in our panel discussion in January as part of Dr. King's celebration. Since the Ferguson situation in August 2014, the chief and his officers have been working with us in an attempt to identify ways to improve the relationship between the police and the community. We organized a discussion and solution committee that consists of 4 police chiefs, 4 clergy, and 4 other individuals in an attempt to identify ways to improve the relationship between the police and the community. Out of these meetings, we've had a number of meetings of mayors, police officials, clergy, and others. And the Florissant Police Department has been very active in this process. At our invitation, the chief and several leaders of the department attended my church several weeks ago and attended the service and also the coffee hour, and I had a discussion with the congregation during that time. They were well received. Because of this, we have an ongoing program that will be taking place within the Florissant area in the near future. Finally, out of our meeting, we'll develop a Summons of Joy program where 7 of our churches have taken up offerings to give gift certificates to the Florissant Police Department. They're going to pass those out as they come in contact with individuals during the course of the next few weeks, and they will give them as Christmas presents. Probably the individuals who will stop will believe they're going to receive tickets, but we're given a $100 gift certificate instead. Based upon a long-time effort to improve the relationship between the police and the community, I highly recommend the Florissant Police Department be reaccredited. It's well deserved this honor for its commitment to the community. Thank you very much.
Hello, everyone. My name is Reverend Dr. Kevin Llewellyn McGee, and I am proud to be here today, and thank you for the opportunity. I'm also a chaplain, lieutenant colonel with the Army, retired after 31 years of service. I have a master's degree of divinity in outreach, a master's of counseling specializing in marriage, family, and child therapy from Webster University here in St. Louis, and a doctor of ministry specializing in counseling. And I have been a chaplain for the military prior to my retirement in January for 22 years of my 31 years of service. And I am the first full-time chaplain to work for a governor in the nation, and proud to say so after 9/11. And a little bit before my retirement, but especially after my retirement in January, I decided to look for a police department that I can work with and for, and I could have not made any better decision than the Florissant Police Department, simply because they have great leadership and they are a part of the community under Mayor Snyder and Chief Lowry. And so it is my honor to say that I am the lead chaplain for the Florissant Police Department, and I work with them and try to become a part and do outreach to the community. And we are working on developing a program for community chaplains, or training people to become community chaplains, simple or like the policing, community policing. And we hope to have that up and going very, very soon. What can I say about the Florissant Police Department? Obviously, as I said earlier, they have great leadership, but let me tell you about them in a story. One of our chaplains recently lost his son, 11 years old, and they really showed what they were about in care and support to him. They were there at the visitation, they were there after the incident happened, and they were there in support at the funeral. And how many police departments can say that they're there for chaplains? Like chaplains, we should be there, and we are there for them. I want to speak so highly about them that I think they should be a model, especially with everything going on in Ferguson, but not just for Ferguson, but for the country, because they are well organized and they are under great leadership. And they make our community strong and feel safe. Well, currently, I spend a lot of my time with ride-alongs, and I try to ride along at least once a week, 3 to 4 hours a day, and just go around the administration building and talk to those who work as police officers and administration. But I really am honored to take this opportunity to speak on their behalf. From my perspective, I am honored to say that the Florissant Police Department is my police department, and that I am so proud to say I am the lead chaplain for this police department. And I know that you say I may be biased, which I guess I am, but again, I'm so proud to be a part of them, and I think they are a model and representative of what police departments should be. So if you consider all the things that abide and make up your requirements in CALEA, I would say just continue to look at them as a model, and I do strongly and highly recommend them for reaccreditation with your great organization. Thank you for your time and for your attention. God bless.
Hello, my name is Robert Smith. I've been a resident of Florissant for about 20 years, and a couple years ago I decided to get involved in my community, and I took a class called CERT, Community Emergency Response Team. And after I completed the CERT class, I was asked by the Florissant Police Department to become a commissioner of the Florissant Citizens Corps Emergency Management Commission for Ward 4. And after serving almost a year, I was then elected as chairman of the commission. And as a commission, what we do is we try to get out in the community and help them to be prepared for a major disaster. And the Florissant Police Department plays a major role with helping us to do this in the community. When we get out to set up our booths at like the Valley of Flowers or the Fall Festival, Florissant Police Department takes the lead to make sure that our table is set up at both events. And whenever we need help with anything, handing things out or training, they're always there to help us. We also, Florissant Police Department also puts on another training called Citizens Academy, and that helps with the people to see how the insides of the police department works. So after taking both of those, the CERT and the Citizens Academy, I got more involved with doing more things with the commission and the Florissant Police Department. The department is always there to help us if we need training materials, if we need materials to hand things out to the community. They have been the leader in helping us to get a budget with the city council. They also helped us to get an email account so that the community can reach out to us if they have questions, anything of that sort. I believe that the police department is very involved with the community. I'm very proud of my police department, and I would ask that you would reaccredit them again because they are well deserving of it. Thank you for allowing me to speak this evening.
Hi, my name is Myron Fletcher. I am Communications Director for STL Football U. I would like to thank the Chamber for inviting us here this afternoon to discuss the courtesy and the sacrifice that the Florissant Police Department makes. We are an organization that deal with the youth in our community. We honor academic and athletic achievements that excel expectation. And so we partnered with the Florissant Police Department to enhance what we do, synergizing together to enhance and go beyond the expectations that most people have for the kids that we deal with. And so Chief Lowry and the Florissant Police Department opened up their arms and invited us in, and not only did they do that, but they opened up every resource that they have to assist us in our endeavors. There is a Greek word that is called thaleo, and it's where we get our phrase desire. And when we talk about desire, we run across a lot of people in our business that have the desire to help us, but they don't have the resources. Or we find people that have the resources, but they don't have the desire. But we ran across Chief Lowry, and he opened up his arms, and he has shown us just that word, thaleo, where he has the desire and the capability, and he has poured out for us. And so I'm excited about our future relationship with the Florissant Police Department. Mayor Snyder has shown his support as well, and we are looking to do bigger and better things in the Florissant community. Thank you.
Good evening, Chief Fox and Chief Ashley. Thank you for the opportunity to comment on the reaccreditation of the Florissant Police Department for the esteemed CALEA Award. I am Margot McNeil. I'm the state representative from the 69th District, which represents parts of Florissant, as well as Hazelwood and unincorporated St. Louis County. The Florissant Police Department is known throughout this region to be a very professional, effective, and community-oriented police department. This has been particularly important in light of the heightened scrutiny that police departments throughout this region have experienced these last 15 months. Prior training undergone by members of the Florissant Police Department in attaining past CALEA certification have been very helpful and important as the region has addressed civil unrest, violence, and racial concerns. The relationships built with the community and best practices put in place through the years have helped the Florissant community move forward in a positive direction despite the civil unrest. I feel confident expressing this opinion because in my 7 years as a state representative, I have received no complaints from constituents regarding the police department, and have also received numerous expressions of appreciation and pride in our excellent professional police department. The Florissant Police Department has long been a leader in establishing the coordination and cooperation among the police departments in the region. Some 50 years ago, this Florissant Police Department, under the leadership of Chief Robert Lowry, helped to found the Major Case Squad, which has gone on to solve many crimes throughout the region. That leadership continues with Chief Tim Lowry and the efforts that he is doing with the Major Case Squad today. As police departments throughout the county switch to community-oriented policing, I feel that Florissant Police Department will continue to be a leader and a mentor for those police departments as they change some of their policies. The entire region has benefited from the fine professional training of the Florissant Police Department. I think they deserve and to be reaccredited, and therefore I highly recommend that the CALEA reaccredit the Florissant Police Department. I also want to mention that I have a letter that I have officially addressed to the CALEA authorities and would like to submit that official letter as well. Thank you very much for your time. Good evening.
First of all, let me thank you for taking your time to hear from the citizens today regarding the Florissant Police Department. My wife and I have lived in Florissant for over 50 years. We raised 3 children here. All of our children married and bought their first homes here in Florissant. Part of this is due to the feeling that we had of safety with the Florissant Police Department. I've been serving as a city councilman for 13 years. The police department has always been my top priority and the top priority of the council as long as I've been here. Councilman Egan mentioned that during the last budget session, the police asked for funding for a youth program, and we did grant that. What he failed to mention is we actually doubled the amount of the request for their budget, and we told them to come up with additional ideas, and we would look at funding that as well. That's the faith that we have in this youth outreach program and in the Florissant Police. Chief Lowry and his command staff have always been very responsive to me as a council person, and I'm very proud personally of the Florissant Police Department and the things that they've done. Most recently, we had the issues in the city of Ferguson. City of Florissant were one of the first departments to respond to their need for a request for help, and when they did so, they were there till the very end. We had vehicles that were damaged, one of them that was completely destroyed. It was a very, very difficult time, but I was proud of the fact that our officers acted in a professional manner and did a great job for the city of Ferguson. But at the same time, Chief Lowry was meeting with the city council and assuring us and our residents that we would be a top priority and that the city of Florissant and our residents would remain safe. But I also know that as an elected official, the one that sets the budget for the police department, we may get special treatment or special priorities. So what I'd like to do today is talk about what the police department does for the community. They make it a real priority to be active in our community, and they're committed to the citizens. We have the DARE program, which is important to all of us, the Citizens Police Academy, and a whole lot of time that goes into the neighborhood watch programs and things like that. Eddie the police dog, which you've heard about this week, is a recent addition to the department, and it's been a huge hit with our residents, especially the young people. Chief Lowry and the police participate in virtually every organization and event that happens in the city of Florissant. They're active in the Chamber of Commerce, the Rotary, and Florissant Old Town Partners, just to name a few of the organizations. They work with these organizations and help and participate in things like the Valley of the Flowers Festival, which is our big spring festival that takes place over a period of several days. And they're also very instrumental in the Fall Festival, which is a fall festival that we have. We wouldn't be able to do it without the help of the police department. But it doesn't just stop there. The police attend every ward meeting, every town hall meeting that we have, and they're there to answer questions from the resident. And they're often the last people to leave because they will stay there to answer any kind of questions that they might have. Every time that there's a block party, they try to make it by the block party and visit with the people. Same way with National Night Out. They always make it a priority to be by and be with the people. Last July 4th, one of my neighborhood watch groups in my ward had a big block party. And they had asked me if we could arrange to have somebody come by, and I told them, yeah, I would make sure of that. After the event, the block captain and the neighbors contacted me, and they told me how impressed they were by what happened. During their block party, a whole line of Florissant police cars pulled up and a whole group of people. We had the DARE car, we had the watch commander, we had the local precinct officer that works that area, and we had Eddie the police dog, and they stopped, they got out. They had a soda and visited with everybody. The kids and some of the young at heart were able to play catch with Eddie the police dog, and they stayed for a long time. And this was very impressive to them, and they thanked me for doing that. They handed out back-to-school bags to all the kids, and they had coupons for Culvers that they gave to the adults and everything, and it was just kind of a good thing. But This really impressed everyone, and while I took the credit for doing it, I didn't tell them that they made 6 other stops that same night. They visited everybody, and that's the kind of thing that they try to do. They're very, very involved in the community and with the residents, and that's what we're happy about with this Florissant Police. So, again, thank you for your time. I'm very proud of the Florissant Police Department. I'm proud to call Florissant home, and I support the Florissant Police efforts for their recertification with CALEA. Thank you, and have a good evening.
Hello, thank you for allowing me to speak on the relationship the Fire District has with the Florissant Police Department. My name is Scott Seppold, and I am the Chief of the Florissant Valley Fire Protection District. Just a little background. The district, we are governed by a different body than the City Council here at the City of Florissant. We protect 21 square miles of North County, and with that, we operate with 4 different police departments, Florissant being one of them. We operate with other city departments and also St. Louis County. And I'd like to just say I wish that we had the relationship with the other police departments that we have with the Florissant Police Department. Just a little history. We've run 11,000 calls a year as a fire district, and the majority of those are with the Florissant Police Department. And those calls range from an simple EMS call all the way to house fires, vehicle accidents, you name it, we run it with them. And I am proud to say that we have a great relationship with the staff, with the command staff of the Florissant Police Department, our firefighters, and the police officers on the street. They do a great, incredible job together, and I think that bodes well for the Florissant Police Department. And I think a lot of that stems from the training that we do with one another. We train a lot with them. We train all the time on different incidents, preparing for disasters, so on and so forth. We're constantly together, working with one another, preparing for incidents that might occur in the future. And I think just to hit on that a little bit, in 2014, we all know that we had the civil unrest just south of here. And I want to tell you how much planning that went involved, not only as we participated, both the police department and the fire district participated with the incidents that were occurring down in Ferguson, but also the planning that went into daily drafting up IAPs, incident action plans, if it would occur that would spill over into the city of Florissant. And so myself meeting with Captain Bowden, Chief Lowry, we were constantly meeting, preparing for that, and we do that all the time. And not just for the disaster, but also multiple times a year, there's situations, events that occur. You know, we have 5K runs, we have the Valley of the Flowers that happens in the spring, we have the Fall Festival, we have the 4th of July where thousands and thousands of people are there. And people don't realize that behind the scenes, the police department and the fire department are working on incident action plans to prepare for what and if things might occur at those events. The police department is very proactive with community service. We've partnered with them with CERT training. We train and certify CERT members every spring. We meet with those members once they're certified to keep their skills up so that they're an asset to the community in which we live and serve. Also in the fall, through the police department, they came up with an idea where we do a Citizens Police and Fire Academy, where multiple residents come through every year to just get a taste of what it's like to become a police officer and a firefighter. And I think it makes our community better. And I tip my hat to the city of the Florissant Police Department for starting that program and also involving us in it. And the last thing I want to share with you is that in this past year, St. Louis County has gone to 800 megahertz radio communications. We were old school for a long time, and now we have the ability to talk to one another via our radios. This goes back to a problem that dated all the way back to 9/11 in New York, and for years we couldn't communicate on emergency scenes with police officers, and now we have the state-of-the-art technology, state-of-the-art equipment, and the driving force behind that was the Florissant Police Department. They were the ones that not only brought that to the Florissant area, but they brought it to the whole metro area. And so I just want to close with saying thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak on behalf of the fire district and the relationship that we have with your police department here in Florissant. Thank you.